This is episode 168 of the Beyond the Food Show. Today, we're going to talk about how to set goals in alignment to UnDiet 2019. So forget the traditional way of setting goal. We're going to set goals with feelings. Stay tuned. My name is Stephanie Dodier, clinical nutritionist. I reversed my diagnosis of anxiety, depression, adrenal fatigue, and obesity by going beyond the food. I can tell you one thing, that willpower, discipline, and deprivation aren't the permanent solution to transforming your relationship to food. So how do you leave overeating, emotional eating, food craving, and binging behind you so you have the food freedom to achieve all of your goal and be happy now? As a top 25 alternative health podcast in the world, this is the Beyond the Food Show. Welcome back, ladies. Stephanie Dodier here. If you're listening live or close to live, we're a few days away from the Christmas celebration. I realize that not all of you celebrate the Christmas, but for most people that live in first world country, that means a break. That means vacation. That means time off. And that's exciting. For all of you who do celebrate Christmas, I want to wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas to you and your family or your loved one. For me, the holiday, no matter when and what religion it is, whatever your celebration looks like, is all about connection with your beliefs, with your spiritual body, and your family. And when I look back in my last 43 years of life, what I remember the most about the holiday that I celebrate was the tradition that are anchored around that and how I'm continuing to build those traditions for the next generation, for my niece and my nephew, because I think that's what part of holiday celebration is all about. So this weekend right now, if you're listening live, December 21st, 22nd, and 23rd is a traditional moment for my family. We bake cookies. So my house is filled with kids, 3 kids between the age of 7 and 12, and we bake cookies for the family. So this is what I'm going to spend my weekend doing. And on the 23rd, we go and deliver the cookies, and then we sing song and we connect together. And I know when my nieces and nephew grow up, they are going to have memories anchored in themselves for that. And to me, that's what I want to give for the holiday and the Christmas period. So I thought I would share that with you, and I would like to hear from you. What is the tradition that you have or your celebration around the holiday that you celebrate in your life? Now, we are in this journey together for 2019. Over the last 4 episodes, I have been talking about how we can and should UnDiet 2019. And I'm giving you with that series over the last 4 episodes a option to opt out of the traditional model of how to start the year, the whole resolution framework and creating external goal. And if you want to join me in that movement and actually get into the framework of the Going to Beyond the Food method, we have the Food Freedom Challenge that starts January 1st. It's a 25-day challenge towards food freedom, and it's the basic of the Going to Beyond the Food method. And the teaching in that 25-day, that it's not about what and how we eat. Instead, it's about why we desire to eat. And so we teach you how to identify triggers. We teach you how to stop using food when you get triggered with a new tool. We go into how to stop eating when full and eating when actually hungry. And then we go into the whole world of restriction and binging. So it's a great place to get started in the Going to Beyond the Food method and the option to UnDiet 2019. So for the podcast listener, you have until December 31st. Obviously, we start January 1st to register, and I'm giving you a $50 off coupon. So when you go to the checkout, you can enter 50 off, all in one word, 50 OFF, and that will give you $50 off. And that coupon is valid until December 25th, so we can prepare to welcome everyone by January 1st. So that's an option for you if you want something more structured, organized, if you want to be led through this process of Undieting 2019. But if that's not your jam, totally get it. You have this series of podcasts. So podcast 165 is where we started, about body acceptance and being the base for you to start the diet cycle, and how that is the missing step in most 30-day challenge and diets and food philosophy. But in fact, it's the most important because it does drive the emotion that urges you to eat. So 165, body acceptance. 166, we debunk motivation and why it's the number one roadblock for you and what to do instead. 167, we talked about how to get, quote, result, end of quote. Obviously, in the Going to Beyond the Food framework, which is not about how your body look or weight, but instead it's about what you're chasing, external goal or internal goal, which is going to be the driver of your success. And we're continuing down this path again, nothing to do with food. It's about goal setting and how you should engage with goal setting to undiet 2019, how this new way of setting goal will keep you motivated all year, and it will give you the consistency you're looking for, likely not towards what you thought you were going to chase, something else, and we'll teach you that in the rest of the podcast. But this is what this episode is about. So let's get started on how to set goals with feelings. And for us to do that, I'm going to get you in a space of reflection a little bit. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you may have to pause this podcast to reflect for you to find your answer. And that's okay. I'm going to give you space to do that. Or you may have done this reflection already because you're engaged in the Going to Beyond the Food method and you've been following me for a while. You may have the answer right away. So here's the question. I want you to think back to one of your most recent goal, or maybe even last year's resolution you had set for yourself, whatever it was, losing 20 pounds, get back on track, be more financially sound, get a promotion at work. And I want you to think about that. And I want you to ask yourself, did it work? Right? So pause for a minute if you cannot find one of your latest goal and think about, A, did it work? And if it did work, how did I feel when I achieved this goal? If it didn't work and you did not achieve your goal, I want you to think about, how would I have felt if I had achieved that goal? I hope the question is clear. Let me recap it one last time before you pause here. I want you to think back to one of your most recent goal or even last year's resolution. And I want you to think about, if you've achieved it, how you felt once you achieved it. And if you haven't achieved it, how you would have felt if you had achieved it. So go ahead, maybe pause, and then we'll carry on. So now that we're back, how did you want it to feel, or how did you feel? For example, if you achieve a promotion at work, did it make you feel secure because you have financial security? Did you feel accomplished, or did you want it to feel accomplished? Did you made your family proud and really vibrated when you felt the recognition from your family? I know for me that was big. If it was a weight loss goal, were you proud of yourself? Were you seeking the recognition from your environment? Did you want it to be desired by your partner? Did you want to feel, quote, normal? Did you want it to feel accepted? What was the feeling that you achieved or you were chasing? Because the truth is this is the gem here. Behind any goal, truly any goal at work, at home, or in life, what we chase is the feeling. It may present itself, or you may write it or create a vision board and put a picture of a physical thing, but honestly and truly what you're chasing is the feeling behind this external physical thing. I know this is profound. You're welcome to pause again, but I'm going to ask you the next question. Have you ever thought of your goals in this way before? Now, I kind of engaged you towards that in the last 2 episodes when I talked about external and internal motivator, podcast 166 and 167. But for most of you, I think it may be the first time. I know for me, when this came into my life 7 years ago, like it was a totally new concept. Here's part of my background. I was in the corporate world for nearly 15 years, and one of my job in my career path was to be a goal trainer. Like I deliver workshop on SMART goal. So if you're in a corporate world, you know exactly what I'm meaning. If you're not, SMART is an abbreviation for specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, and time-based goal. So I would get manager in the retail chain I was working to set up like financial goal with a number, an inventory goal, and personal development goal. Anything that could be measured, realistic, and specific. All external goal. Because this environment of business and corporate is totally left brain. What do I mean by left brain? Right brain. So some of you may be familiar. If you're not, left brain, right brain is an expression that demonstrate the lateralization of the brain. So there's a theory out there that say that people are either left brain or right brain, meaning that one side of their brain is dominant. So an example of that is that if you're mostly analytical person, a method person, a number person, a science person, you are said to be left brain. If you tend to be more creative, artistic, you are thought to be right brain. So it's a theory that has not been proven scientifically, if you want, right? It's a theory, so it's not a science fact. It's a theory that some people agree to and some other. But in the world of behavior, it represents a personality type. So that's how we teach it in the academy. We get students aware of this theory, and then we get them to reflect upon themselves. Do they engage with life from a left brain perspective or a right brain perspective? Now, here's what we have found within our own population is that 90% of our students are overwhelmingly left brain, because they came to us focusing either on science, from a food philosophy background, on weight, diet culture, which is all about a number on the scale. They came to us from this type A overachiever in their career, which if you work in the corporate world or in a career standpoint, it's all about most of the time being left brain. So they came to us with this left brain personality type, and the way they set goals and the way society tells us to set goal engage that left brain, right? External goal, number goal. That's what I thought for years within the SMART goal model. The problem with this is that it discounts the wholesome human. And we are a whole of 4 bodies, right? We are a whole of our spiritual body, mental body, emotional body, and physical body. And these different parts of ourselves engage with these different personality type and different side of the brain. My approach and my proposition to you in this episode and what we do within the Academy is that our goals should be stimulating the right brain, meaning it should stimulate our feelings, our emotion, our creation, possibility, the abundance mindset. And this is so different for women like me coming out of the diet land, the diet culture, because we focused on a number all of our life. Yet, because we've done that, we have reduced our ability to connect with that right side of our brain, our emotion, our creativity, our feeling, which is leaving us completely in balance as a human being. So for us to heal and make peace with food in our body, we must balance both sides of that brain, both sides of that personality of our needs and our for body. And one great way of doing that is setting goals that are going to focus on that other side of ourselves that's going to stimulate beyond just the physical body, that are going to stimulate your emotion, your spirituality, and your mind in a way that's focused on feelings. I cannot emphasize that enough, how important it is to healing your relationship to food and your body, because you are stimulated every day, multiple times a day, to your left brain. That it is through money, through career, through work, everything is about your left brain. So if you don't intentionally spend time focusing on engaging your feelings, your emotion, your creativity, it will leave you unbalanced. So you cannot rely on society to do that. This is something you have to intentionally set in your life. And a great way to do that is towards doing a different type of goal setting, which I call chasing feelings, goal settings with feelings. So how do we set goals with feeling that are going to stimulate that right part of your brain? If you are a person that is joining the Food Freedom Challenge on January 1st, we have a bonus workshop on January 2nd strictly dedicated to this, because I know this is new to you. I know this is new to my students, so I need a special focus on that. In the Academy, it's an entire module. So I'm going to break it down smaller, but we're going to do a workshop on that. So you don't have to worry about that. There's going to be workbooks. We're even going to give you a quick tutorial on creating a vision board. That's going to be included in the Food Freedom Challenge. But if you're not joining us and you want to know how to set goals with feelings, it's going to be a process of journaling, because journaling is this process that allows you to discover yourself and how you want to feel, because it's all about tapping into that side of you. So follow these instructions that I'm going to give you right now. So you're going to need a journal, you're going to need a pen, and you're going to put at the top of the journal page, how do I want to feel? And then you're going to let the pen hit the paper, and I want you to answer these questions. Describe how you want to feel in your body, in your health, in your mental well-being. There's no limit. Anything goes. You can get abstract. You can get specific. Do you want to feel spicy? Do you want to feel electric? Do you want to feel free? Just let your spirit download to your piece of paper how you want to feel. The very important thing here is that this how I want to feel is not conditional to anything happening. So by that I mean, this is where most students go. They say, I am going to feel light and spicy once I lost 20 pounds. This is a conditional I want to feel. This is not the right way of doing this. You have to give yourself permission that you can feel this way as you are right now today without any change, without any conditional external factor. Could also be, some people will say, I feel free when my husband change. No, that's conditional. And on top of that, it's completely out of your control. So how do I want to feel in my health, in my well-being, in my body? And just download information on the piece of paper and then pause once you're done and then reread what you wrote and select 2 to 3 words that keep coming up and that resonate with you. Okay? Then, right, you're going to pick out those 2 to 3 feelings that keep coming out the most, or words that resonate with you. And you are going to create a statement that is going to be your chasing feeling goal mantra for the year, right? So it could go, in my body, health, and well-being, I will feel, very important, the tense of word you're using, again, not conditional, right? I will feel, and then you put your 2 to 3 feelings that is most coming up in your journaling. Now, the last step, the most important one, is how are you going to implement that into your life? Which action are you going to take to feel that way right away, January 1st, and every day of the year? Because again, it's not conditional to anything. So that's another part of your statement. So based on the feelings you've selected, what action are you going to take right away that is unconditional to bring that feeling to life right away in your life, the day after you set your goal? So your responsibility is to create an environment that will enable you to feel like that right away. Unconditionally, permission given to feel awesome without losing weight or without whatever your thing is. I know this may sound foreign. If you have been just like me for years in a space of left brain, know that that resistance that you're feeling right now to set your goal in that way is an expression of the amount of growth that is possible if you do it. The more resistant you are, the more possibility of growth there is in this new way of seeing, living your goal for 2019. So remember that choosing to repeat the same experience, let's say with resolution as you did prior, will not give you success, right? If we keep repeating the same thing and expecting different result, that is insanity. So for all of you that are resistant right now, just dive into it. Nothing terrible is going to happen on the other side. Now, here's a quick other resource for you. If you're not joining us on the Food Freedom Challenge, I've recorded an episode 1.5 years ago with Dr. Katie Henry, episode 18. Dr. Katie Henry is a facilitator of the Desire Map by Danielle Laporte. The Desire Map is a goal-setting process, a way more extensive process that is taught around feelings. So you may want to go back and listen to this episode. It's going to help you dive more into this world of setting goals with feelings. So there you have it. I hope this episode will inspire you to start 2019 differently and to take the jump to go beyond the food with us. I'm grateful that you were here with me. As always, I'm asking you to share this information, this podcast, with other women in your life that needs to hear this message. We are a grassroots movement, and we need each other to carry that message to more and more and more women. In the series of UnDiet 2019, we have our last episode next week when we're downloading 169, and it's going to be about inspiration. I'm going to teach you or help you see how your life can be this time next year. It's about setting vision. I love you, and I'm looking forward to hang out with you on the next episode. Ladies, let's start 2019 together. From January 1st to the 26th, 2019, we will take together a 25-day journey to dissolve emotional eating that keep you stuck and finally stop sabotaging yourself with food. Yes, you can eat when hungry and stop when full. The Food Freedom Challenge is the first look inside the Going to Beyond the Food method. It will allow you to make peace with food and your body, stop obsessing about food and the diet roller coaster once and for all. The Food Freedom Challenge is a 4-core module that we will be doing together as a group inside a private community. We will first discover why we eat. 2, we will learn how to cope with our emotions, stop overeating, and in bonus, we will also look into body image, intuition, time management. Plus, you'll get 2 coaching calls with me in the group to answer all of your questions and implement the method in order to help you engage with food in a completely different perspective so you can stop craving, overeating, binging, and using food to feel better. So if you're ready to step into 2019 in a powerful way and once and for all make peace with food in your body, head over to www.stephaniedodier.com/challenge. I'll see you on the other side.